Arnea, a village of about 6,000 people in the Halkidiki region of northern Greece. Arnea is located in the mountainous areas in the north of Halkidiki. One of the things that's really interesting about Arnea is that it is a uniquely picturesque town. That's because a lot of the old Macedonian architecture was preserved in this town, so much so that the town has actually been designated a historic site. So you can walk along pretty much any of the side streets here in this village, and you can see scenes like this. Houses and buildings that are very picturesque and look different than you would see in a lot of more typical looking towns and cities across Greece, including this part of Greece. So you can see here, actually, there's a year on top of that house. See, 1899, and then this one here, which is also painted in a very cool way, up there says 1900. So a lot of the houses and buildings that were built here seem to have been built around the turn of the 19th and 20th centuries. When you walk down the little side street here, you'll come onto the main square. You don't see a tree with water coming out of the bottom of it every day. Obviously the water is coming from below, not above, but it's interesting to see. It feels relatively warm. Of course, my hands are kind of freezing right now because it is a chilly midwinter day. Arnea is at about 600 meters in elevation, so about 2,000 feet. So on a midwinter day, it's actually, on a typical midwinter day, it's pretty chilly here, and it could even be a lot colder than this. So there's actually some snow and ice on the ground in untreated areas because, yeah, it does get cold here. So Moscow, 1982. The only one that didn't say KM, so does that mean the year 1982 Moscow is that way? Because if it is, let's go. That'd be an interesting adventure to put on YouTube. Go back to Soviet-era Moscow. I mean, even Bald and Bankrupt wouldn't be able to top that. No surprise to see honey featured in this museum because honey has long been an important product in Halkidiki. People have been producing honey for a long time here. Military uniform from 1912. This uniform has seen some hard times, for sure. So this is what the inside of a typical house in Arnea would have looked like back in the 19th and early 20th century. Of course, on the outside, the houses still look like they did back then, but on the inside, obviously, those that are still being lived in would be more modern than this. But this is what the inside would have looked like if the inside was preserved the way that the outside of these homes are preserved. So now that we've seen the Folklore Museum, let's go down to the church. Now, every town in Greece has a church, obviously, but this church has something very special about it because there were early Christian artifacts that were found underneath this church after they were rebuilding it after a fire in 2005. So if it's open and we can go inside and see these artifacts up close and see how they are underneath the altar of a church that is being actively used to this day, that would be cool to see. So let's take a walk over and see if it's open. Let's see if it'll be open. Doesn't look too promising. Well, what do you know? Wow, it is open. So down below the altar of this church is where they have left the artifacts underneath some glass so that they can be visible from above. Well, I certainly hope that anybody who sees this video that's involved with this church or with the town of Arnea doesn't mind that I just kind of walked in and decided to film the very unique things about this church, because I think it really is something cool to show, and it's very, very hard to not show this on a video about Arnea, because it's one of the cool things that there is to see here in Arnea. So, good to stop by. Check it out, marvel at it, pay your respects, light a candle if you wish, say a prayer if you want, and go on. But we are going to go on from here because it's starting to get dark out and we have to get going. Hello. Hey. Hey. Good boy. Good boy. So that is all from Arnea in Halkidiki, northern Greece. Definitely a nice town to come and visit if you want to see the mountainside of Halkidiki. Subscribe to Global Niko if you haven't already, but until the next time, take care and travel better.